segment of tape, we would like to present the building of a front court offense. And this is a very popular part of the game, and probably the part that players enjoy the most. And I think the part that the coaches spend most of their time coaching. I'm not so sure that that's a good idea. That is, what I mean by that is spending as much time sometimes as we do in the building of a front court offense. But it is the glamorous area. It's the area that gets your name in the paper, how many goals you score, this sort of thing. And it's, as I say, an area that the players really enjoy playing. By definition, a front court offense would be the time that the counterattack ends, meaning that you have moved the ball down the field of play in the counterattack, but you failed to, say, maintain an extra man for a shot, and you must now move into position and get some sort of a structure for a 6-on-6 offense. And probably you've got from 20 to 25 seconds to the end of the shot clock to get the ball in the goal. So that would be the definition of front court offense, 6-on-6 in the front court, and with the idea of getting a percentage shot, of getting ejection, or in at least utilizing the clock through the entire time. Now, there are a lot of things that we will talk about as we build a front court offense, but just one of the key points and one of the basic considerations in any front court offense is ball control. And young teams very definitely turn the ball over a lot, and in the primary place that the ball is turned over, truthfully, is in the front court. And the primary position that the ball is turned over in the front court is with the 2-meter man, because he is the man that is handling the ball most of the time. So immediately, one of your considerations in building a front court offense must be working in a structure and working with a theme that will allow for ball control. Because no matter how sophisticated your front court offense is, no matter how great your players are, if they do not maintain ball control, you're unable to run an offense. And teams that have, fair to better than average players that can come down and control the ball in the offense have a great opportunity for eventually earning a percentage shot, of earning an ejection, of at least using the time of possession to value. And time of possession in water polo, as it is in football, is very, very critical. So that would be the first point that we'd like to make. All right, now, there are a number of structures in front court offense that can be used, and when we go to the pool, we will look through a number of different circumstances and situations. Just terms that come to mind: the 3-3 offense, which features a 2-meter man, center cage, and wings very close to the 2-meter area, and 3 men across the back. We actually developed that offense clear back in 1958 at Long Beach City College, and it's played, and it's played not really throughout the world, but extensively here in the United States. It's a very good position for picking, but it has some handicaps as well as some pluses. When we go to the pool, we'll look at that structure. Other possibilities, of course, the umbrella, which is a very popular offensive structure throughout the rest of the world. And again, that's something that we will comment on extensively. There are double posts, 2-hole forwards. As I say, there's many different structures and breaking patterns that have been used over the years. And when we move to the pools, I say we'll break some of those out for you and take a look at the different pluses and minuses of these different configurations. All right, now, a front court offense, besides being built around ball control, which, and again, in all of these films, when I repeat myself many, many times, it simply means one thing. We're making a point on something that's real important. So when we say ball control, that's really important in a front court. A lot of good teams are not good because they don't control the ball through to a percentage shot. All right, now, front court offense is really made up of a 2-meter person, someone who is in the post area, and obviously he is an offensive tool. He is a passing bridge, and along with the 2-meter man, we are featuring the other 5 players in some role of either being drivers or players that are balanced to defense while other players are driving. But it is the relationship between the 2-meter man and the driver that really makes for front court offense and front court ball control. And no matter what your configuration, your front court offense will be better if you've got total what we'd call recognition or readouts between your 2-meter man and your offensive players, your driving players. As such, and by the nature of the rules of this game, as you go through a front court offense, the players are really going really from the drive position or what we'd call the horizontal position eventually to the vertical position, and then I'll better describe that in a moment. But the game then will go from a drive or horizontal to the vertical, back to the horizontal to the vertical. Obviously, if 90% of the time your 2-meter man is in the vertical position and trying to control that position around the cage and either earn a shot or absorb the foul and with the timing of your offense hit the driver or feed the ball into a pick. But he is in the vertical. The other players in the drive are obviously in the horizontal. So the horizontal means that we may get the ball in front of us on the water, and so drivers need to really perfect off the water shooting. It may mean that if the defense is playing inside, they may get what we call an RB, a rear back, where they're beating the defense by stopping. If they do that, they come to the vertical, whether it's what we'd call a dive RB, a sondage RB. In all cases, the player really briefly comes to the vertical to take the shot. So hence the game goes from the horizontal to the vertical. But in all cases, when there is a second foul on the 2-meter man, generally the game then becomes one of, as the defense is making the 2-meter switch out, the outside perimeter offensive players going to a vertical position, probably following the switch in, their hand is up, and they're probably going to be shooting the ball not in the horizontal position, but in the vertical. That doesn't mean that on occasion you don't drive off of a 2-meter switch out, but in most cases you are probably going to the vertical position on the 2-meter switch out. So the point I'm making is that this game goes from the horizontal to the vertical, back to the horizontal, and it's the timing, it's the readouts that are so critical in developing a good front court offense. All right, now, in a few moments, and as we go to the water, we're going to start with the first segment of play. That's 2-meter play. What should a 2-meter man know? How should he absorb a foul? How should he gain position? How does he read the driver? And, you know, where should the ball go? How do you really develop the strength to play 2 meters? And we'll address all these issues in the water with a variety of drills. And then we'll go from that and we will look at the driver. How does the driver really get free? What are the methods he can use without cheating, without creating an offensive foul, without grabbing and going? And that grabbing going, by the way, was a very popular method in the old days of getting free. Some teams still use it, but you know, quite honestly, when 2 referees were added to this game, and particularly when 2 referees were added internationally, that second referee is watching that 8-meter area of the backcourt. And teams, by grabbing and going, can pick up a tremendous number of offensive fouls. And so grabbing and going is not an intelligent method of getting free any longer. There are other methods, and as I say, when we get in the water, we will look at that. And then as we get into the water, we will look at how a driver actually receives the ball, what different ways that he should receive the ball so that the 2-meter man and the driver can be in perfect harmony as the offense is underway. And again, as I say, we will break these things down in the water for you in just a few moments. All right, finally, let's look at the end of a counter, or let's talk about the end of a counter and into the front court and the things that are really important and that must be practiced to really make a front court offense go. And again, just as in every other phase of water polo, player discipline is critical. Players enjoy water polo. They enjoy playing water polo, and many times they lose discipline. They will just start playing the game. And in the front court, as in other parts of the game, being disciplined is really important. Otherwise, they will lose the tempo. They'll lose the movement, the motion of the game that's important to make a front court offense really operate effectively. Okay. what happens then? We come down, we're coming off of a counterattack, the man is not up, it is now time to phase, and this is what we call a transition game. We're going from the transition of the counterattack into the front court offense. The first thing that should take place there immediately is someone at the end of a counter, and in another film we'll talk about our counter, and we don't have anyone at 2 meters in the counterattack. But as soon as the counter ends, any player, near player, slips to the 2-meter area long enough to take the ball, absorb a foul, stop the clock so you can get your offense moved up. The rest of your offense that has not been moved up in the counterattack now gets moved up. You take that early foul, then that player can just put the ball in the water and swim it out to the side or make a pass and swim out, and you move your prime set, your prime 2-meter man, or your secondary 2-meter man into position, and you're ready to go. Now let me stress this, that's a very weak part of the team game. It's a part that coaches don't practice enough. The transition from the counter to the front court offense, and teams will give away 4 or 5 critical seconds that might be used later to earn a percentage shot, seconds that would have been available where you might get an ejection, but they waste them as they go from the transition of the counter into the front court. So I'm saying, coaches, you need to practice this so that efficiently, effectively, time efficiently, you move from the counter into your front court, and you gain that extra 4 or 5 seconds of front court offense by getting that early foul and getting set up and then getting that first drive coming through. And again, a 2-meter man is programmed to look for certain things on the first drive, obviously for the driver, for the pick, whatever you're setting up. The second time, he will probably be trying to absorb the foul and look to set up the 2-meter switch out. And that brings me to my next point, and this has got to be discipline, that a good drive must also be followed by a good release in front court. And this again is where front court offenses break down. First of all, a drive comes too late, and if there's nothing there, and many times when the drive is too late you don't create anything, then in turn it's followed by a non-release. A player does not release for the 2-meter pass. And let's look at the positive side of it. A good early drive through may get you up. If it doesn't get you up, it gets the defense moving, it gets them jumping, you get the motion. And a good motion drive is as good almost as getting free. Nothing's better than getting free, but I mean, it really makes the defense move. So boom, if you get that good early drive, if the 2-meter man recognizes where he's supposed to look on that good drive, then he's maybe got a free man and he get a good high percentage shot. But if not, that is followed immediately by a tremendously effective hard releases by the people in the proper positions. We'll show you who the prime release positions are in a front court a little later in the water. But if a good drive is followed by a good release, then that ball is right back in the second time to the 2-meter man. You get that second foul, and now you're in a position to catch him in a 2-meter switch out, and again you're going from the horizontal to the vertical. And again, you may put the ball up on the 2-meter switch out, you may not get a shot on it. But if you don't, the next time, if you don't get a shot from the vertical, the next time that ball goes in the 2-meter, your next drive is kicked off early, and it must become time efficient. All right, remember this, that you're going to have maybe 20 to 23 seconds, 25 maximum at the end of the counterattack to really run your front court offense, and I'm talking about on the time clock. All right, at the other side of it, if your team is worried about what happens in the last 10 seconds, and most teams start to worry about that, hey, you're only looking at a true maximum of 15 seconds of front court offense, so it needs to be disciplined and needs to be effective. I truthfully believe that, you should be running your front court down, and particularly with better players, down to the last 2 or 3 seconds, and, then worry about putting the ball high or dumping it. Okay, now, again, that gives you, as I say, very briefly, what a definition of front court offense. We talked briefly about the structures of front court, the different game plans that you might follow, which we will demonstrate in the water. We've talked about the positions in the front court and the 2-meter man being critical, that he has got to have certain characteristics that need to be developed through drills, and in turn the characteristics of the driver. And it's the relationship again of the driver of the 2-meter man to the driver, and the timing of the driver and the 2-meter man and the releases that really gives you the disciplined, efficiently operating front court offense. And if you've got that, you've got a dynamite front court, and you're going to get your 10 to 12 goals a game, and you are going to get your ejections. You're going to get your 4 meters. And again, defenses can make it tough on a front court, but oftentimes front court offenses make it tough on themselves because they do not have a tempo, they do not have a timing, they do not have a release discipline, they do not have a timed driving discipline, and it really can bog down to really just maybe a 2-meter offense or to very late drives, and these can be avoided. And this is what we're going to look at now as we move to the pool and take a look now, first of all, at the development of the 2-meter game, the development. All right, we've moved over to the pool, and we're going to start to work. We're going to try to do it in a logical fashion and go through and try to build a 2-meter game. And once we're done with that, we'll build a driver game, and then we'll start looking at the structures that put the two together. Before even getting to the 2-meter game, let me just make this point. I really think the two most critical positions, the highest skilled positions in water polo, would be the 2-meter position, the hole forward, and the goalkeeper. And it's always been my belief that if you have an outstanding 2-meter man and an outstanding goalie, you have a great opportunity to build a strong team. But all coaches must think of that, because it's around that nucleus of high skills in the cage and high skills at 2 meters that you're really able to build a truly balanced and outstanding game. So the development of these two positions are critical. Today we will start, because we're doing the front court, with the building of the 2-meter man and what his responsibilities are. And very simply, the 2-meter man has to have certain attributes. He needs a certain amount of size. And if you're talking about international standards, really probably you're looking at from 5'11" to about 6'4" would be the size range. 175, 80 pounds up to maybe 215 or 20, I think would be, ideal physical characteristics if you're looking at the international scene. Obviously, at the high school, community college, and even at the college level, you're going to utilize, what would be your best players to play that position, and they may not always meet that size standard. Younger teams never, but I think you understand my point. Anyone that's much taller than 6'4" has a really hard time coming from the vertical to the horizontal to chase, and all 2-meter men need to be good chasers because they're always going to be taken out of there. So 2-meter men, the day that they didn't have to swim is long since gone. They've got to be able to swim and swim well, because the defense is going to make them swim each time. So looking at the characteristics besides the size, they need to be good swimmers. They need to be able to go from the vertical to the horizontal and back to the vertical very, very well, because they're going to be doing it constantly. All right, another key point in the 2-meter man, he's got to have a stable personality. This cannot be someone that loses his cool. No one with a short fuse can really play effectively at 2 meters, because they're going to have to absorb a lot of punishment. That's the position that's always being defended, and catches a lot of flack, as we'd say. So it needs to be a player that's very stable, understands that his responsibility is to the other 5 offensive players, and not to any abuse that he might be receiving from the defensive player. He just has to blot that out of his mind. Also the referee, he's just got to be there and in charge of the offense. And as I say, he's a passing bridge, he's a shooter, and really in order, what a 2-meter man must be able to do is he must be able to get to 2 meters, he must be able to establish a position, he must be able to maintain a position so you can bring him to the ball, and that's very critical. And then in turn, he must be able to absorb a foul, control the ball, and either be a shooter or a passer. And like a good quarterback in football, he's got to be able to read the defense and the offense. He's got to look out and be able to see what he really has, whether he's got a driver free or just a release pass. Because of this, I think he has to be specially trained. And just like in football, maybe any of the 3 or 4 backs could play quarterback, and maybe you could move 3 or 4 of them through a play at a time, but in reality it's such a specialty position that you really need the experience, and it needs to be trained separately. So in my systems, my personal philosophy is that I don't want to play 5 or 6 people at 2 meters. I have usually 2 prime sets that we can substitute, and maybe a couple of secondary sets that we can put into a game. But all of our players on a squad, our 2-meter men, are specially trained. That is their prime position, and they are masters of that position, and they have to be effective. Because recall what I said earlier, there are more turnovers at 2 meters than at any other position. So and these turnovers come from a lack of recognition, and only experienced players, just like an experienced quarterback in football, can really read the defense and the offense to guarantee that the ball will not be turned over very often. All right, now I'm going to move, and we're going to start looking at some of the basic things that the 2-meter man must learn to do. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is shooting. What shot should he master? What's important there when he does have the opportunity to shoot. Now we're looking at a 2-meter man, and then generally speaking, the 2-meter man is playing between 2 and say 3 meters. That's the effective position. Obviously, he can't be inside of 2 meters ahead of the ball, and anything outside of 3 meters, he's becoming less effective at all times. Now the next thing is positioning, and depending upon the structure of your offense will depend a lot upon the positioning of the 2-meter man. Right now, the man you see sitting in the water is center cage, but then he's to the left, so he's playing offensively to his left, and again, to clear it up, because he's the only man to the back of his goal. Offensively, if you were looking in, he's playing towards the right post, And, this would be the type of positioning that would be used in what we'd call an umbrella structure, where we're really opening up driving lanes. All right, now we'll slide him across, and in an umbrella offense, he can be playing on either side of center cage. And again, now we've opened up the drive to the left-hander side. Now, if we move him back center cage, oftentimes in what we'd call a 3-3 structure of offense, it may be desirous, because you're not driving as much, to have the 2-meter man playing center cage. And again, in a 3-3, this is what you would see. All right, now the first thing I want to show after positioning, and in a little bit we'll also show how to hold position and how to get front water and that sort of thing. But right now we want to take a look, again without defense, at the shots that a 2-meter man really needs to master. I think 2-meter men, obviously they've got 2-meter people, women, men, whatever, whoever's playing the game. They need to have great hands, and they need to develop a lot of abilities to shoot different types of shots. But in my estimation, there's only 3 shots. I call it meat and potatoes, the only 3 shots that are really important. And you don't want a 2-meter person surprising you by putting up some off-balance, what I would call a stupid shot, and surprising your offense as well. There are certain percentage shots from 2 meters that I think can be taken. They're the highest percentage for scoring, and these are the things that we really want to look at. And to me, there's only 3 of them. The first we're going to look at is the sweep shot. And when the ball's dropped in, this shot comes immediately. It requires a straight arm. It requires like a discus throw. It's a tremendous pivot from the hips, and the shoulder comes back into the defensive player. The head swings around hard towards the cage. The ball is swept low. It's not picked up, and the elbow's not bent, because the elbow bent means you're throwing it and the ball will travel too high, and it's very quick, but it's a power shot to kind of get the defensive man pushed back as you come around with the ball. All right, we'll take a look at 2 or 3 of these. Here's a right-handed sweep. Okay, but he picked the ball up a little bit too much. We want to try to just get in behind it and sweep it a little bit quicker. Okay, but there's the idea with the tremendous head and shoulder positioning. Here it is to the left. Okay, that was actually not bad for a right-hander. It carried low, and that's what you really want. You want it to travel low, and by the idea of sweeping it, and with a straight arm, it travels outside of the reach of the defensive player. Both the swing of the body, which tends to move the defense back, and then by keeping the arm straight and the elbow not bent, allows the ball to travel outside of the reach of the defensive player. It keeps the ball low and quick, and it's really one of the better shots, I think, that a 2-meter man can throw. All right, now we'll take a look at the backhand, and depending upon the position of the defensive player, it may be impossible, obviously, to throw the sweep, and because the player may be playing on the sweeping arm, although if you can sweep left and right, you should be able to get it off most times. But there is occasion when you can throw the backhand, depending upon the position of the defense. It's an excellent shot, and it certainly needs to be practiced by the 2-meter man. Here we go looking at the backhand. We'll take a couple looks at this. Ball lands, okay, and again, he put his hand on the ball, pressed it down, and lost it. We'll take a look at another one. Here it comes in. He's up high, grabs the ball, gets it behind his wrist, gets it locked, and gets it thrown in. We'll go one more. We'll take a look at one more of the backhand. Okay, here it comes in, gets up, throws it, and again, it's a shot that needs to be practiced. And again, it should be practiced left and right-handed. Okay, now we've moved a defensive player into position, and we're just going to look at both of these shots with defense on. We have the defense playing to the inside shoulder where they'd normally be when the man's on this post. We'll take a look at the sweep. Here it comes, the sweep is open, and he sweeps it low to that side. Now we'll overplay the other shoulder, and we'll look at the sweep there. Okay, again, he kind of lifted the ball that time, didn't get enough rotation. And here's the backhand. Okay, very nice, and again, that's with the player overplaying the other shoulder. All right, the third shot that I think is extremely effective and a very high percentage shot for the 2-meter man is to recognize when the guard is overplaying the shoulder, and this has to be a recognition on both the part of the 2-meter man and of the people feeding the ball in from the perimeter. And we'll simply, by using our legs, and by positioning the ball, we will turn the defensive player and bring the ball in. And this certainly is an extremely high percentage shot, and something that should be worked for constantly, particularly with fronting teams, but should be worked for constantly by the 2-meter man, because it's a very high percentage shot. Okay, here it comes in. We recognize he's overplaying. We turn him. We get the ball up, and we take the shot. We'll take a look again at another one of those. Here it comes in. That was a poor pass in, but he's got the man turned, and again, the goalie makes a good save. Let's look at one more. We'll take a look at one more. And here it comes in. He's got him turned, and the ball is in the goal. All right, now we're just going to switch 2-meter men and look at it a couple of more times, and then we'll... All right, let's look at this same shot from the other side a couple of times. And again, it's just simply turning the man physically when he's overplaying that shoulder, and the passer recognizing it, 2-meter man recognizing it, and taking advantage. Okay, he's got him turned. The ball is up for the shot. One more time. Got him turned, he's got him around. Okay, fine. Now again, we didn't really get moved out. They did that too quickly, but the idea is there. And I repeat, the sweep shot, the backhand, and turning and being able to shoot the ball with a man on your back facing the cage, in my estimation, are the 3 critical shots of the 2-meter play. Now another shot that can be used on occasion would be a layout, but a layout can most often be called an offensive foul if the referee decides to do it. But also when you lay out, you are putting yourself in a position that it's taking a little bit longer to deliver the ball at the cage, but you're also putting yourself in a position that any dropping defenses can move in and take the ball out of your hand because of both the time factor and the fact you're stretching out towards the defense. All right, now I want to move on, and we're going to talk about how to position or get position when you're being fronted. You know, fronting 2-meter men is a very common thing, and we're going to talk about that and demonstrate that in this next segment. All right, now we're looking at the 2-meter man being fronted, and we're going to look at what we call a counter rotation. In order, our 2-meter man is simply going to physically, by using his legs, he can't use his hands, and his upper torso is going to be applying leverage on the 2-meter guard. And I will say this, all 2-meter men should be in contact with their guard. It's a lot tougher to play against a guard who can be off of you, because that allows the guard to move too. The 2-meter man person wants to know where his defense is at all times. So he's going to lean into him, he's going to press him out by using his legs, and then he's going to do simply what we call a counter rotation. He's going to reach low in this direction with his right hand. He's going to swing his left hand around above the water and do about a quarter of a turn from the counter rotation, really not creating any visible offensive foul at least. And also he'll signal as he moves out with his head that he wants the ball in from that side. And now he'll have his man moved out, and we'll make the pass, and he'll have again the off the water shot to the inside. So here he comes. He's pressing him out. He's working. He's showing where he wants the ball. Here's the counter rotation. He's got the position. Very nice. Comes in, and very, very nice. Okay. All right, let's look at the same thing from the other side, from this side. Here we go. He's pressing him out. He'll start showing he wants the ball over here. There's the rotation. Ball's placed on the shooting arm, and very nice. And again, that is what we call the counter rotation. We move the defending player who's fronting the hole to the outside, and you know this can be done. And you don't have, the more you swim at 2 meters, probably the less you're going to be free. But also the more difficult it is to pass the ball into you with any intelligence. 2-meter men cannot be moving all over the place. They really need to obtain a position and hold that position. And with a counter rotation, this is possible to do and to gain the inside water. And this is what we use a lot to beat the front pressing defenses. The ball obviously has to be brought to the wing, and we'll demonstrate that in some of the later segments. All right, now we're going to look at developing some of the muscle which is required to play at 2 meters. This is a drill, and we call it the animal drill, and it needs to be correctly supervised by the coach. But this is to not only toughen up the 2-meter man, but for him to recognize when he has a shot. In this, it's an impossible drill for the 2-meter man. We give the 2-meter guard almost free license in the defense. Normally we run this in a set of 5. In the film, we'll just show it for 2. The 2-meter man against a fouling defense, against more than a fouling defense, a defense that's given free license to totally foul, nothing that would be allowed in water polo, he must still find a way to get 2 shots off at the goal. And as I say, normally we'd run this without stopping till he gets off 5 shots. All right, and the only time that the coach will blow the foul is to reposition the ball if the man gets pushed out too much. All right, let's take a look at it. He's working him hard. He's working him hard. He's really all over him. Okay, he got off a very, very nice shot there. Very good shot. Here it comes in again. He's muscling. He's muscling. Okay, and again, let's repeat that one more time, and let's just see if we can keep. Okay, now there he's clobbered him. So now we put the ball back out, back in again. That's the way the drill would run. Okay, he didn't get anything. We'll put the ball back out and back in again because we don't want to lose position. Okay, and there he got a shot off. Again, it hit the player in the head. Here we go one more time. Let's see if he can get it off. Okay, he's being held with both hands. We'll blow the whistle, let him reposition. As I said, we'd run it twice, but we're getting the idea. We normally run it 5 times, and let's see if he can get off one more shot. And he does, and this is very, very good practice. Okay, now the next segment in this drill would be where the coach will actually blow legitimate fouls. And the first set of 5, and I said 2 on the film, and we did more, but normally, as I say, we run this in a set of 5. And if that defense is really ferocious out there, and I mean never to the point of hurting anyone, but if he makes it really hard, you know, this drill can go on for 4 or 5 minutes. But I promise you, eventually your 2-meter man becomes very adept at absorbing fouls. Nothing seems too difficult in there. But we always follow it with a second set of 5, and that is where we're really playing it legitimately, and the coach now will call legitimate fouls, and we'll see if again he can really relate and beat the guard and really get some shots off. And we found these 2 drills to be very effective in developing a 2-meter shooting game, and in turn they will have to recognize what they have here, whether it's a backhand, whether they can turn the man, whatever he can get, he'll try to take. Okay, here we go with it. Okay, back out again in. This also teaches him to shoot it quick. Okay, and there he goes. All right. All right, we had an offensive foul. We'll hold it there just a second. Let me talk. We'll have an offensive foul. You cannot get a shot off by creating an offensive foul. All right, and I'm going to remind the player of that, and then we will continue on. Continue with the drill that he's been instructed, we hope. Here we go. Okay, he had nothing. We're still working. He's got to get off at least 2 shots. All right, and he does. He gets a backhand off. Here it comes back in. We'll call that 1 shot. Comes back in. He's being fouled. The ball's back up. It's out. In again. He's up. He's got the ball in his right hand. Switches to his left. Nothing there. We'll put it back. Let him work. Okay, now. All right, but I believe, again, there was a slight push off. And, again, that would be an offensive foul. And we really do need to train our 2-meter people not to offensive foul. There's nothing worse than a turnover at 2 meters. And here it comes in again. He's got an arm up. He's working for a backhand. Nothing. There's the foul. We go back out with it. Back in again. Here it comes in again. Okay, is he going to get... Okay, again, he's fouling too early, and we'll stop and mention that. Here we go. Stopped in there. There's the foul. Back out again. Coming in again. All right, and we take a backhand because we're overplaying on the one side. Okay, we'll get the ball back out and in again. Okay, again, it was probably a good sweep, but we call the foul early. Okay, he's got a man turn, but didn't get the shot off. We'll bring the ball back out, back in again. And again, we'll do this, as I say, till we get 5 legitimate shots. Okay, tried a right-handed backhand. There's nothing, so it wouldn't count. We go back out again. And again, this is fatiguing, but it's very good drill to toughen them up. And again, another backhand. And we'll hold that drill at that point. All right, we're still working on the development of the 2-meter man, and we're going to look at a very, very important drill now, and this is what we call the availability drill. Again, this is not something that 2-meter men really love, but it's a critical drill. What happens with 2-meter people is you find oftentimes they are not consistent with the amount of time it takes them to get the ball up after they've absorbed the foul. Particularly as the game progresses and they get a little fatigued, they tend to get a little lazy, and so a driver may kick off early, and the 2-meter man doesn't get the ball up, and a beautiful drive is lost. We discipline through this drill our 2-meter men to get the ball up always within a second and a half. They must get to the ball, absorb the foul, get to the ball, and get the release pass within a second and a half. And it's a discipline that's required to get timing between the 2-meter man and the driver, because the driver must know that if the ball is within reach, that it'll always be up basically in the same time frame. Now, if the ball is totally knocked away, obviously we wouldn't run a drive. But in this drill, we will not even drive to it, because what we're training really, again, still is not the driver, but the 2-meter man on absorbing the foul, getting to the ball, getting it up, and releasing it to the outside. Now, normally we would run this for 20 passes. The only pass that we count is the pass the 2-meter man completes to the man on the outside. If it's intercepted or if the sequence is broken on the perimeter, then that pass does not count. He must complete in a regular drill 20 without any interceptions or any turnovers actually going back and into the hole as well. And when he completes that 20, then that drill, the availability drill, would be over. Again, it's a very taxing drill on the 2-meter man, but it's an important drill in both maintaining position, the pass into the 2-meter man, absorbing the ball, the timing, to really allow your offense to time out so that you can run drives or whatever you choose to do. Okay, here we go with the availability drill. Okay, the ball is up. He's looking for the free man. He's trying to find him. There's a release. That won't count because the ball was touched. Back in. There's the foul. He gets to the ball. He's got it up. Back in. He's ball still alive. He's still alive because they dropped off. We've got one completed pass. One completed. Looking for the release, and it's intercepted. So he has only one pass. So the ball comes over to the offense. It'll come back in. There's the foul. Here's the release. And back in. He's got two. There's the foul. There's the release. We got 3 passes. Okay, it's coming in. He's looking for the free man. Out he comes. There we got 4. Working hard. Okay. They break it outside, so that one doesn't count. They've got the hole fronted. They're going to have to bring it around. That does not count because he's not paying any attention. Everything has to be full game. All right, we bring it around the horn in. There's the foul, the release. Okay, and there it is. We've got 5. We take the release. Going to get it in. Man's being fronted. No, so it goes back out again. Intercepted pass. In again. He's got the ball up within a second and a half. Outside and in. Okay, now we'll hold it right there. Important parts of this drill also, particularly if the 2-meter guard's working to front, is the recognition of the passer passing in, and again, the availability of the release to the outside. It is critical when you're releasing from a man on the perimeter to not always release in line with the body of the defender. If you're always releasing in a straight line, it's very difficult for the 2-meter man to make a pass. He has the most turnovers because he's the one handling the ball the most, but you get a lot more turnovers if you're always releasing in a direct line behind your guard. So we really encourage releasing laterally to open up that pass. But again, as I say, this drill is good for recognition of the incoming pass as well as the outgoing pass. Place another 2-meter man. We'll look at 6 more of these. And again, I want to stress, he's got to get to the ball, get to the ball, get to the ball, get to the ball. Get it up and make the next pass. All right, here we go. Ball's coming in. There's the foul. He gets the ball, and we'll yell it at him. And okay, he might have had a shot. If he can get a shot, he can take it there. Might have had a backhand there, too, the way he's playing. All right, and there's an intercepted ball on the perimeter. We've got only 2 passes now. Okay, he's coming in. There's the foul. He gets the ball. He's got it up, and the pass is long. The sequence is broken on the outside. It would not count. He still has 2. Ball's alive outside. Coming in. There's the foul. There's a good release. Back in again. He's got 3. He's up with the ball. Okay, and it would be an ejection on the 2-meter guard that time because he hit the ball before the pass was made. Here's the release pass. We're at 3 coming in. There's the foul. He's to the ball. Up. Looking for the man. We got 4. He's got the ball. Get it up. Get it up. Yeah, he's got it up. There was a foul there. That's 5. Legitimate. All right, he's up with the ball. Release. We got an outside foul, so that does not count. We're at 5. We need 1 more. And again, as I say, in a regular situation, we will run this for 20 times. And if the defense is playing very hard, we will not allow it. And I didn't allow that one because the pass outside was poor. It was over the man's head. And there's the last foul. We'll let him get it up and outside, and we'll conclude the drill. One other key point I want to make in this is that it really trains the 2-meter man on how to pass to the perimeter as well. Notice we had no drivers in this particular drill, and I think that's an important factor to remember. We're really working on the release game, and the release game has got to be trained for the 2-meter man as well as the drive game. Okay, now the next drill we're working on is we're asking the defense to switch out from 2 meters like they've absorbed the foul, which requires them to switch with a perimeter defender. So we'll switch each time. We're going to go until the offensive team gets 6 shots at the cage. And all we're working here is recognition between the 2-meter man and the person who's being switched off of to try to make a decent pass and get off the good shot, or the recognition that if the defense is left too early at 2 meters, that we can put the ball back to the 2-meter man on the layout. And we will look at both good defense as far as the 2-meter switch out, and then also leaving early. And in these drills, then we force the offense to recognize what they really have, the 2-meter man, or in fact the man on the perimeter, back to the 2-meter man, who must recognize if he's been left early and get into a layout position. All right, here we go, and we'll take a look. There's the foul. The switch is coming in. Ball is out, and we have 1 attempt. Okay, here we go. Here it comes again, the recognition, and again the shot. He's got 2. Ball is in. Every foul is a switch out. And again, we work on the game of recognizing the shooter, getting the ball up with a nice pass so that he can catch it and fire the ball. We're at 3, I believe. Here we go. And here it comes. Okay, we got, there's nothing there. We'll go back. Okay. Again, let's reset it. We'll reset it. We're going to go a couple, 3 more here. 1 with good defense and a couple with an early leaving by the 2-meter defensive player. All right, here we go. Okay, and a nice shot. Now we're going to leave early, which will allow for the layout. Ball. It's in there. Okay, he didn't leave early. He didn't leave early. Pick that up one more time because that got a little sloppy on the defense. There's a little confusion there. We're going to have the defense leave early, thus opening up the inside. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's the foul. He leaves early. The ball's out. It's back in, and we take the shot from in there. And again, every segment of this game must be practiced. Here we come in. Okay, he's in. We got an early leaving. He lays out. way the other side that time for the shot. So again, I just can't overemphasize how each little segment of this game must be practiced. You've got to practice good 2-meter switch outs for the offense, so they read where the ball must go. The 2-meter man reads where it must go. And then you need to practice poor switches out so that in turn they recognize when the inside opens up. And then as the players practice and practice and practice, they will become very adept at really getting good offensive readouts, and they'll be doing the correct thing at least about 90% of the time. We're going to repeat the same drill now, and this is really a critical drill because this is you know, every time that you create a 2-meter switch out, and this is one of the two main things that your offense is working for. Every time you create it, you want to earn the shots there, whether it's from the outside or the inside. We'll look at this 6 more times before we move on to the next drill. Okay, there it is. The ball's up and the shot. Okay, here we come back in again. It was good recognition there. Ball is in. There's the foul. And a nice quick release, and there's 2 shots. And again, it's really important to put it in the cage when you get that kind of shot. Here it is, the switch. Different man's open that time, and he buries the ball into the high corner. Again, here we come with a pretty good 2-meter switch up. Here it comes. Can't get to the foul, probably an ejection there just on the man holding. Got nothing. Put it back in again, and this is important to recognize that. And again, the shot, you know, you can just scrimmage this thing out as it happened there. All right, here we go now. There's an early release, ball's out, back in, and it's thrown into the cage. And here we go again. We're recognizing the early release. There's the foul, there's the release. He gave him a little bit too much room, and we complete the shot again. And again, we're working on both the inside and outside, and it must be practiced. All right, continuing with the development of the 2-meter man, one of the critical skills he must develop is the ability to not only absorb the foul, but to release the ball safely and to the right position. This being done, he can get the ball right back in again with a clear pass in to him and draw the second foul and put the defense in a position where they're going to have to prepare for a switch out. Now, there are certain key areas that this 2-meter man must be aware of for his release passes. The prime release is always to the point. The point is the easiest passing lane that the 2-meter man will have, no matter whether he's being guarded on his left or his right side. That is always the easiest spot to find. And the person at the point, unless they're on a first foul drive, should always be very conscious of both defensive balance, but certainly in this case of a tremendously hard lateral release. The second position of prime importance for a release would be the strong side players, meaning the players that are on the side that the 2-meter man is on. And they must be the ones that work extremely hard as well to get free to take the pass from the 2-meter man. Finally, another excellent way is off of the first foul drive when the driver does not get up but drives deep, is simply to loop around behind his drive and free up there for a release pass. All right, we're going to look at these now, and again, this is a very important skill to be practiced, and that is for the 2-meter man to practice absorbing the foul and making good release passes to the proper areas. All right, here we go with the drill. The ball's coming in from the wing. There's the foul. The ball is released out, thrown long. We will run that again. Run that one again, please. All right, here we go. And again, overpass is really a dangerous thing, both because it can set up the other team's counterattack, but also because it can take us away from that direct pass in. All right, now we've worked around the strong side. Now here comes the loop. The ball is out and back in. And there we have, in quick order, a whole series of priority release areas. We're going to look at that one more time very quickly. Okay, here we go. Very quickly through again. There's the foul. Here's the release to the point. Back in. There's the foul. Here's the release to 1 o'clock. Back in. The foul. Release to the wing. All strong side there. Comes the loop around and ball back in. And there's the foul. And in all cases, we've got the quick second foul on the 2-meter man. And again, learning to hit the right release pass is critical skill for the 2-meter man. long as we're looking at the things to do right, let's look at what would be wrong. We'll put the ball in, he'll pass across his defensive player, and the only time this would be permissible if it was going to what we'd call a greenie shot, which we will demonstrate next. But we're now going to look at a mistake, which again takes the 2-meter man out of position to receive the ball back quickly and gain the second foul. All right, the ball comes in. There's the foul. He's looking across. He puts the ball across the defender, and of course he's fronted. Now we've got to bring the ball back around before we can get the second foul. And again, if they're pressing tight outside, that will be a lot more difficult to do than they were just able to do under that case. So again, we do not put the ball across our defender. Okay, now moving on to the next important drill in the development of a 2-meter man would be what we call a loop-around drill. Now, the loop-around drill is one that opens up all types of readouts, one to the driver, which we will see momentarily, and of course, soon on this film, we're going to be really developing the drive game. But while we're still concentrating now on the 2-meter man and his readouts, we'll look at the drive readout on the loop-around drill. We'll look at a pass to the man who is looped behind towards a shot. We will look at a cross pass to a shot, and then we'll finally put the ball back to 2 meters. All of these will be possibilities in a game, you must realize, and we'll put the ball back. But this time I will not blow the foul on that last one. If it ever goes back to 2-meter man, we go back now to the muscle drill and let him finish up by trying to muscle the ball in against the 2-meter guard. All right, we're looking at all aspects of the... All right, now here we go with all the possibilities of the loop-around drill. Ball is in, there's the foul, the defense doesn't drop, the ball's on the water, and we go for the shot. A poor shot, but the idea is there. Here we come. Another possibility in the loop-around is, again, the ball put up to the loop and for a shot. Here we look at another possibility of the loop-around. Here comes the drive. Balls to the loop, we go to the cross pass to the shot, and a nice shot for a score. And finally, another possibility of this drill is into the 2-meter man. There's the foul, we hit the loop. Rather than shooting, he puts it back, and now we won't blow the whistle. Like I say, we will muscle it through to a shot. And again, there are all the possibilities in a loop-around drill. We're going to run it one more time through very, very quickly, just again to look at these possibilities in order. Okay, here we go again. There's the foul. Dart doesn't drop in, ball's on the water, and the nice wrist shot off the water. Okay, here we come in again, ball is in. There's the foul, we cover the loop, pull back, and a nice shot, again with the ball being up a little better that time. In again, another possibility, we drop in the defense, we come there, we go cross pass to a shot and a goal. Excellent practice, this is a very good drill because it's very realistic. Finally, in, we come around with a loop. He doesn't have a shot, puts it in the hole, and this time we won't blow the whistle. We'll let him fight, and that time the fight was won by the defense. Right, another situation which the 2-meter man needs to be trained in recognition is what we call a greenie shot. We catch the inside defense a little bit asleep. The 2-meter man absorbs the foul, gets the ball up quickly, high, with a lot of force on the ball to the man whose guard is a little asleep, and this ball's got to be straight up. It can't be faked. I mean, the man comes straight up, the ball's got to be thrown quite quickly and hard, so it can't be intercepted, and it's immediately released to the goal for a shot. Here we go. The ball's in. There's the foul. He's got that ball up, and boom, the quick shot. And again, working to beat the goalie. Here we go. One more time. It's in. It's up there, and boom, and there it is, and off for the shot. Okay, we'll now look at the development of a number of greenie drills, which in turn are involved also really in what we'd call vertical shooting. Okay, now again, and we're just about to finish with the 2-meter man, but as we discuss the 2-meter man, we have to link the vertical aspect of the game with the 2-meter man. Not only is he in the vertical, but again, there's a lot of situations, the greenie, the 2-meter switch out, all of these things, the cross pass outside, where we're looking at a shooter somewhere between, say, 5 and 7, 8 meters in the vertical, who in turn may have a shot. American players really do not shoot the ball well enough, and in ball games often enough from the perimeter, from that Very good shooting area, 6 to 7.5, 8 meters, particularly when they've got a chance to have the goalie out of position. And this is one of the drills now that not only works the 2-meter man and his readouts, and we call this the Guarini series, but it also trains the outside shooters to really develop the vertical shooting game. So here we go, and the first thing we're running is a single pass. There's a single pass, it's up, the ball was thrown low, but the shot was good. This is just the drill we previously ran, but we had defense. Now we have no defense on it, they're just practicing it as a shooting drill. Here we come in again, and it's out, and it's up, and there is the shot. Okay, now we'll look at it with a double pass outside. Same drill with an additional pass, and this is just working balling. Anytime there's a poor pass, the ball always goes back to the 2-meter man. Okay, there's a one. We'll go 2 more of those. Ball is out and in. There's the foul. He's got it up. It's there. And quickly, and he takes the shot. And again, another double pass for ball handling and working on the cross-pass shooting game. Now we will take it up to 3. Now this is a great goalie drill because when it goes to 3, the goalie doesn't know in sequence where the shot's going to come from, and there it came on the second one. So this now the goalie can't read the drill. Here it comes in again, that ball is up, and he takes it on the first one. Let's look at this one again. It's in. There's the foul. There's the first pass. He doesn't shoot. Second pass, he does shoot. We're going to go one more. We'll go one more of these. Here it comes in. No. Okay, they're going to go now back to the. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Single pass and out. As I say, this doesn't allow the goalie to set up. Here's the foul and the shot. Okay, now hopefully we'll. Okay, I see what we're doing now. We're calling the man in by name and practicing the shot like you would be following the slough in. They're following the slough in on a 2-meter switch out. And again, that's a key drill to know. And on this, we just simply call a name and the man starts in. Okay, now we're going to go to the layout. Again, all a part of the Guarini series. We're going 2 passes outside. Third pass is a cross pass to the 2-meter man laying out. Here it comes. There's 1, 2. He lays out, and we get that practice going. These are all drills that can be run with and without defense. But there he comes. His ball is up. It's across. Now he goes the other way and into the goal. And we'll run one more. And as I say, this is what we call the Guarini series, and it's something that we practice a great deal of in developing our vertical shooting and our vertical passing. Okay, we're going to take a look now at another vertical shooting drill, which is excellent. And this is one that I know that Pete Catino up at Cal's used for years. We call it the outside triangle because it's a very flat triangle, but the outside triangle shooting drill. The players have up to 5 passes in which to beat the goalie in the cage. They have to move the ball on the outside among the 3 players and try to beat the goalie and take the shot. If they mishandle the ball, the next group comes. All right, let's take a look at it. Okay, here they come, and the point is always outside of the 2 wings. And okay, they're working. They can only work up to 5, getting that goalie tied down, and there was nothing. No, shouldn't have shot that because he had the goalie locked on. And you always want to beat the goalie with a cross pass. So again, that demonstrates one of the things that's wrong. Okay, a good save by the goalie. Next group comes in. And it's a good ball handling drill as well. They're working, trying to beat him. Okay, the ball was misplayed. They should clear the area. And they should not take that shot. As soon as the ball is dropped, we clear the area. And they're working it, and there it is. And that was a nice one. Beat him on the 3rd pass. Okay, here we come again. This is an excellent drill to really develop cross-passing, to really develop ball handling skills, and to read the goalie. Again, a very nice shot to the goal. And another one. Here he comes in with the ball on the point. It's up, commits the goalie, gets the ball up, cross pass, and it's out of the field, new group. Here we come in again, comes up with the ball. And, you know, some of these players have only actually been playing the game for a couple of years, and, you know, but this is good for people, you know, to see because these skills can be developed, and it's a very important vertical shooting drill. Goalie recognition, nice goalie save. I will go one more, and then we'll stop this drill. Okay, here they come in, ball's up, comes over to the left-hander, and he shoots it and beats the goalie. All right, now that concludes the development of the 2-meter game, and you can see that there's a lot of drills that can be run. It's a very difficult, very complex position and requires a lot of attention in the development of your front court, particularly because the man is handling the ball most of the time, and he really has to be aware of what the situations are and how they are best solved. All right, now we come to an equally important part of the game, and that is the driver. A lot of teams do not run a driving offense because simply they don't know how to develop it. They don't really know where a player should go, how he should go and get there. And we're going to take this through from a very simple base through to the development of a real driving game. Because of the 3-3 offensive structure, the United States in recent years, although physically we have many of the driver types, and what I mean by that is people that are maybe 5'7" to 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" inches, who have tremendous initial acceleration, tremendous quickness, can get up on a man and drive hard. We have many players like that in United States water polo, but because we've run so many 3-3 offenses in this country, and because we have really featured lots of picking, lots of picks, which involve really 3 players, the 2-meter man and the 2 people that are running the pick, we've really not developed our driving game to the extent that, say, the Spanish have, the Italians particularly, but also other teams. The Hungarians at times drive very well, the Cubans, many teams, but particularly the Spanish and Italians have great driving front court offensive teams. And again, the reason our drivers have not developed to the point that maybe they should have, even though physically we have some of the most capable drivers in the world, is because of the structure of the front court offense. When you're running a 3-3, there's really no place to drive, and when you do drive, you're really driving to set a pick. And when you're driving to set a pick, you're always strong side driving. You're driving to the same side that you're already on. You seldom, if ever, see someone do a diagonal drive to the other side to set a pick. It would take too long. It wouldn't be time efficient. But as a result of this, we've really taken the driver, the skilled driver, and out of the U.S. game, or we have for a long time, and now we're in the process of trying to redevelop this phase, because again, the U.S. game is really based on the premise of speed and quickness, a great mobility swimming game, and it just stands to reason then that we should really take full advantage of the driver and learning how to drive. So now that's what we're going to work on as we return to the water. Let me say that in the case with all players, when you're coaching and working with them, I like to develop from really a simple situation where the player has success. In other words, if you're going to talk somebody into playing a system, a style, it needs to start with success. If it's too complicated, if he starts and he fails, then pretty soon, coach, this is no good, this isn't going to work, that type of thing. So in all of our drills, we go from the simple to the more complex, meaning that we start one unknown, we teach him what we're looking for, the skills, then we'll put a passive defense on the player, and finally we will put real defense on and let them beat them. And if you start with a real defense, 90% of things won't work. If you start with no defense, then obviously 90%, or should be 100%, will work. With passive defense, 60-70% of them will work. With good defense, eventually 60 to 70% will work. So we always build our drills from the simple to the more complex and demonstrate success first. Okay, now let me turn, and then we will set up, first of all, for a driver, how does a driver get free? Where is he coming from, and how does he get free? Okay, obviously most drives are first foul drives. The driver is aware of this. He should have his hips up, his legs near the water, so he can get a tremendous lunge kick to tremendous burst of quickness to get started. Secondly, and again, all drives have got to go with the intention of getting inside water. If you don't, you RB. If you don't have that, then simply use it as a motion drive and to move the defense around, and don't worry about it. Just like in football, all plays are designed to go for touchdowns, but they don't all go for touchdowns. And all drives are designed to go for a goal. They don't all go for goals, but we can always get something good out of a drive. All right, now the best positions to drive from are what we'd call the 11 o'clock, the 12 o'clock, or the point position, and the 1 o'clock, because those give you the best angle in which to move around on your drive. You can also drive from the wings. We call this backdoor driving, and again, if you really catch your defender asleep, you can always backdoor drive from the wing. But your really key driving positions are 11, 12, and 1 o'clock. All right, now the first thing we're going to look for is just simply beating the man with pure quickness. With pure quickness, the ball is going to go into the 2-meter man. The foul, the defensive player will get a hand up. He won't be using all of his extremities to position himself, and just on quickness, the player will blow by him. Here it comes. There it is. He's right by him, and there's the shot. And again, that's just simply, and it's one of the greatest ways to beat a defensive player is on quickness. A second way is to beat him on alertness. This time, the guard will turn away to check a whistle, and the 2-meter man is always aware of what his guard's doing, and he'll beat him this time on alertness. Here it comes. There's the foul. He looks, he sees his situation, and he breaks by, and a beautiful off-the-water shot, wrist shot. Okay, now we will take a look at other ways in which we can beat the man. We might mention before we do this next drill that the timing of the drive is also critical. And the timing of the drive is really based upon the distance the passer is away from the 2-meter man. The farther away that he is, or the farther the drive is away also, the earlier the guard will have to, the driver will have to go. So timing is really critical. Normally we feel that when the pass is actually leaving the passer's hand, not when the ball is fouled, not when it's in the air, but when the ball actually leaves the passer's hand, is probably the best time to go. But it still has to be based upon distance from the goal, both for the passer, and let me say that more correctly, both by the distance that the passer has to go, the 2-meter man, and also the distance the driver has to go to get position for a shot. The farther the driver is away, the earlier he has to go. And I think that's a more correct way of putting it. Again, I will say this, that it's not good to make passes into the 2-meter man of over, say, 4 meters. On rare occasions, okay, but if the defense is dropping it all, if you go over a 4-meter pass, if you're throwing 6 to 8 meter passes in your 2-meter man, you're taking a tremendous chance of that ball being turned over. Okay, we're going to look at the next circumstance, which will get free by a pass and go, a pass and go. He puts it in, passes it, foul, immediately drives by. Again, beating, and this is one of the oldest plays in water polo, but it's a great way to get free. And the simple old pass and go. All right, now we're going to run what we call the stop and go. The stop and go. Here we go. There's a foul. He stops. Defense stops. He starts again. Ball's thrown, and another excellent shot. Finally, a great way to beat a defensive player with a drive is a change of direction. Let's look at the change of direction now, and here we go with this. He's driving diagonally. Now he crosses back over, but we've got an offensive foul, so again, we will rerun that. Okay, we're running this one again because what happened, we were trying to run a drill rather than a game situation, and the defensive player set it up so that we should have kept going and we'd have been free on a cross drive. And we're going to comment on the readouts between the 2-meter man and the driver in a moment. We're simply looking at ways to get free now, and again, here comes the change of direction. There's the foul, there's the change of direction. Ball is thrown to the water, and the shot. So there's the change of direction. So we've looked at alertness, we've looked at quickness, we've looked at the pass and go, we've looked at the change of direction, we've looked at the stop and go. All excellent. Grab and go in this day and age, as we said earlier in the film, is quite dangerous because of the backcourt referees. So, and again, a lot of offensive drive fouls are called now in water polo. So we really train very hard to have early and clean drives. Okay, now we've looked at ways that drivers can get free. Now let's look at an important new concept that we started developing with our Olympic team about 3-4 years ago. Internationally, we were really unable to run a lot of picks because we got called for a lot of impeding, and so I truthfully went searching for a way to improve our one-on-one drive game and to maybe utilize some of the readouts that were used in the pick. And what I mean by readouts in the pick is that the type of pick that was being run was always dependent upon the other team's defense, and the three offensive players, the two people running the pick and the 2-meter man, had to read the pick, had to read what the defense was going to do and know whether that drive was going to go inside or if it was going to be a screen behind one of the two picking players. But these required readouts, and so American players were used to reading defenses from 2-meter. So my thinking came then, if we're not going to be able to pick much internationally, why can't we improve our game? And remember, coming back to that all-important principle of recognition and not turning the ball over, can't we improve our game by using the same readout principle, only doing it one-on-one? The 2-meter man reading the driver out, and the driver and the 2-meter man reacting and creating the shot that the defense is giving. And if the 2-meter man knows every time what the driver's going to do, that he's not going to change halfway through and do something else, and the driver knows that the 2-meter man is looking for this because we're reading off of the defensive player on the driver. If we know this, we are going to get a tremendous number of percentage shots off. We're going to have total ball control, and we're not going to surprise ourselves and turn the ball over. So now we're going to take this concept that we use in our driving game and show it from the simple to the more complex. We will start with no defense. We're going to look at all the different shooting, what we call the shooting drive possibilities, and this pretty well covers it. And in no case will we be shooting tee shots. In no case will we be shooting what would be called the screw shot or the pop shots. We are going to be taking that ball to the highest percentage, the highest control percentage, and working with the ball away from the defender, requiring the 2-meter man to make precision passes every time. But he can make precision passes if each time he reads the defense and knows exactly what his offensive driving player is going to do. So let's take a look at this now as we develop the driving game and the readout philosophy between the driver and the 2-meter man to create total recognition. First drill, we're starting to drive from the 11 o'clock position. Now, unless we have a left-hander coming through, and we have put one left-hander in here because we just always flip-flop the drill for the left-hander. And the one left-hander, the rest of right-handers coming through on this shot. We don't run an RB on this side. Any type of situation where we take the ball dry, it makes no sense. We want the ball wet. Because the defense will 99% of the time be on the inside, and they should be if they're playing good defense. We will always require the ball to be placed by the 2-meter man on the water on the outside hand. That way we work on the wrist shot. You've already seen some of those being shot in the previous drill, and we work on quickness, keeping the ball away from the defender. If the goalie has the strong side covered, we will go cross cage. We can even lob from the wrist position, and if he doesn't have the strong side shut down, we will take the ball quickly to the strong side. Again, when you get inside and you go to power, your defensive player will match your power, and you will probably, unless you're just a giant, not even get a shot off, because when you go to power, you tend to go to the vertical position and bring the ball back into the defensive player. When you take it off the water, you're beating the goalie with quickness, you're beating the guard with quickness, and besides that, the ball is kept away from the guard. And the longer it takes you to deliver the ball, the more, even with power inside, the more apt the goalie is to make the save. So these are very important concepts. Let's take a look at them. Here we go. Okay, the ball's on that outside hand, and there's the quick cross cage because of the position of the goalkeeper. Ball is on the outside, and it takes players a long time. He didn't handle the ball that time. Here's a left-hander coming through, so now we will take it dry to the left-hander. Okay, coming through again. There's the drive, ball's on the outside hand, and again, very nice, very hard for the goalkeeper. He knows what's coming. Very hard for him to make the save. Okay, and notice everything is on the outside hand, and the shot is to quickness with the wrist. Here it comes again, and he makes the save. We'll take a look at it a couple of more times. Bring our left-hander through once more. Okay, quickness, quickness, quickness. Okay, here comes the left-hander through. Okay, except you don't want to drop those legs quite so far because that brings your defense into you. And again, he missed the cross cage, but it was a good idea. Okay, now here we go with a change of direction drive. We'll start a diagonal drive from 11 o'clock position. And with the defense in certain positions, we might want to double back to the side. We will, and it will require, again, the ball being placed on the outside hand on the water. Here we go with it. Okay, there he comes. He reverses back. Ball is on that outside hand. And again, a very nice shot. There's the foul, and getting a little too close to the 2-meter man. Here comes a diagonally drive shot here. This is better. Makes his move there. It's got to be on a dime. It's got to be very, very quick. He tried to go to the lob, and as players develop this, they can get better and better and better at really controlling the ball off of quickness. There's quickness to the strong side. Here's his drive cross cage, and we will look at this with defense pretty soon. Here comes another drive. We reverse, bring it back here, and he gets this hand there, and a good save by the goalkeeper. One more time, here he comes. Ball is always in the shooting position. Always in the shooting position. And as these players, they're young players, as they develop, there's a beautiful shot. Okay, now we start looking at the cross drive from 11 o'clock position. And again, you're going to go where the defense gives you a chance to go. And we'd always like to beat them cross cage. This is the drive, as I say, that's almost been lost for a long time in American water polo, whereas the Europeans are constantly cross driving from 11 and 1 o'clock. It's almost been lost because our players are usually driving strong side to set a pick. Now, on this one, the player will not RB. If he'd RB, he'd drop his legs underneath him and bring himself right back into a defense that he's already beaten. But we want the ball dry here, if possible, certainly, because we're in most cases, unless it's a left-hander, we want it dry, and because that gives us a great shooting position. If we put the ball on the water here, it's very difficult. You're going to have to scoop it in with your left hand or backhand it in with your right hand. Not high percentage shots. So the concept here, and later we'll put defense on these, is that we are up on our defender. We are going to roll to the side and take the shot. Okay, here we go. He's driving across. He comes to his side, gets tremendous leverage. There he comes again to his side, and on the side, yes. Goalie's making some nice saves. Okay, that's a left-hander. Ball is on the outside hand. It wasn't wide enough. It should have been farther away from the defense so he could have come cross cage. Very nice shot. Here he comes again. In all cases on his side, and that gives us really short range of motion, a harder shot to block as far as being picked down or stair-stepped from behind, greater chance to go cross cage or near side depending on what the defender is doing. And as I say, it's based upon the angle of the drive. We go to our side based upon the angle of the drive. Now that ball is better thrown, but again, it wasn't better shot, but it was a better pass. And again, that's a 2-meter man making that shot, and he's not usually driving the cage, and it really shows. Again, no eye contact, poor play by the 2-meter man. And there's a nice roll to the side. One more time, looking at the angle drive to on the side for the shot. Okay. Moved our drivers out to another key driving position, the point. We're going to look at a head fake one way, going the other way, and the ball placed properly by the 2-meter man. And here we go. There's a fake. He comes this way, so the ball will be on the outside hand if it's a right-hander. And again, a nice save and a nice shot. Okay, he's coming the same side. Again, we will look at these. All right, here's a left-hander. This means he will get it dry. Okay, here we come. Head fake. Drives this side. Ball is on the outside hand. Beautiful shot. One more. There it is. Ball is always out. All right, hold it right there. Now we'll take the head fake the other way and then take the drive the other way. And in this case, we'll now, with the right-handers, take the ball dry, and we'll get our shoulders more squared to the cage this time because of the angle of the drive and because of where the defensive player would be position-wise. We get a little more latitude here, and we can square our shoulders to the cage. Here he comes. There's the foul. Here comes the drive. He'll pop up, and again, a good save by the goalie. Come here. And again, players need to read here's a left-hander. Again, a left-handed 2-meter man, not a good shot. Okay, the goalie's playing very well. They're not reading the goalie very well. There's a much better read and a much better shot. And all drives are coming hard, and you're hoping for inside water. All right, we'll hold that there. Move the drive to 1 o'clock. We're going to go straight, strong side, power drive. We'll say we beat someone with quickness or alertness. Now, with a right-hander, this calls for the timing pass. And let's take a look at that. Comes in right in stroke and puts it up. And as the right hand is pulling underneath the water, the ball should be launched. That's perfect. And we get a shot. Here he comes. As the right hand pulls there, he's up, so the swimmer should not have to stop. Shouldn't have to come to the vertical. There it is, and he can hopefully read the defense and make the good shot. Okay, very nice. Time we'll fake to one way, and now we're going to make a cross drive from the 1 o'clock position. This means, again, we really wouldn't want an RB here. We're going to use it for a motion drive. If we get slightly up, we'll put the ball on the water. If they collapse, we'll hit a loop around. Here we go. Coming driving cross cage means the ball's on the water. Okay, he missed the shot, but he was laid out, and we had good quickness there. Coming across here, and very, very nice. Beats the goalie with it. We really work to beat the goalie here with quickness, and there again, quickness to a lob, very nice ball sense, and I believe that players can really develop this. They can develop their hands, their wrist work on this, and these can be very, very high percentage shots, much higher than pop shots, screw shots, scoop and bats, that type of thing. Okay, let's look at a couple of more. Coming across, okay, and he throws a backhand, which is a perfectly legitimate shot, and we'll demonstrate where that becomes legitimate. Okay, we'll hold it right there. Now, as I explained earlier, we start with a simple, so the player is successful. You saw a lot of missed shots, but you saw some great shots. Percentage-wise, the more they practice, the more balls will go in the cage. They will get the nice feel for the ball and for the shot and for the location of the goalie in the cage. All right, now we're going to take it the next step up. We are going to run not good defense, but we're going to run a medium amount of defense, maybe about 50% effort. Now we should still get success, but it should be tougher, but it also requires correct readouts. To start with, we'll make it fairly easy. We will run the blues through from each position with each shot one time. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Very nice shot. Each time we're beating him with quickness. And there it comes. The ball is on the outside hand and a good shot. Okay, we'll hold it there. The defense in a position that we can double back to this side. This is a readout by both the player who's driving and the 2-meter man, so he knows exactly where the ball is going to go next. We will do this rotation worm turn, as we call it, to try to prevent an offensive foul. If we just cross over the shoulder many times, it's an offensive foul, but where you actually turn your back to the defensive player, seldom is it called an offensive foul. All right, here we go. There's the drive. He's got him retreating, a beautiful double back, ball's on the water, and a nice shot, but no goal. Another one, same thing, the double back. That's the position and the shot. Be an offensive foul because it should have never doubled back, because the defensive player was playing to let the man go the other way. There's an offensive foul. Again, maybe it's just as well we show these because in those cases the man should have continued a straight drive through. And we will have to come back and take a look at a couple correct. Get two more of these because the last two really demonstrate the point I'm trying to make. That was a poor readout, not by the 2-meter man, but by the driver. He had the guard beat, and he should have continued the angle drive cross cage for a dry shot or at least a motion drive. When he doubled back, obviously he's creating an offensive foul, which again simply says it was a poor readout. Let's try to look at it where we get the correct readout, but we were able to run the drill to the near side. Here we go. Okay, there it is. He's got him retreated. Beautiful drop, loop around, and again the shot. One more time. He's got him retreating. He comes back across, and the shot. Okay, now we'll move the drive to a little bit different angle. We have the 11 o'clock drive, but we have the defense beaten on quickness to the cross cage side, and this requires then, depending upon the room, either rolling to the side and taking the shot or just simply using it for motion with the 2-meter man releasing the ball to the outside. All right, here we go. He's beaten, he comes across, he should roll to his side, he does, the ball's in his hand, and we get off a nice shot even if it didn't go in the cage. Same position on his side, again, nice shot. Here we come with the defense trailing. Man is on his side and the shot. Here we come, defense trailing to the side and the shot. Okay. Move now the drive back to the point with defense, moderate defense, and let's take a look with a head fake, and here it comes. The head fakes that way. Here comes the drive. The ball's on the outside, hand on the water, and a very, very nice shot. Head fake, we're driving the near side, ball on the water, and again, great shooting there. Okay, here it comes again. Ball's the outside hand, and another nice shot. Now we're starting to get the ball in the cage with the shot. Here it comes across. And again, beautiful lob. It didn't go, beautiful lob. Now we'll head fake this way, go the other way. Calls for the ball to come now with the shoulders a little more balanced. But anything going that way with a right-hander calls for the ball to be dry or not thrown at all. And that's our system of ball control readouts. And, you know, as I say, if the man's covered, possibly he's being dropped in on, we'd hit the loop around. Okay, and that is the point drive. We will now move the drive to the 1 o'clock position. And have the drive moved over to the 1 o'clock, and we'll take a look at the different shooting possibilities there. Here we go with the near side, drop, and the timing pass, and a beautiful score. Here it comes again. We've got the man beat. Ball is up, and a good shot. Same drill. And again, ball was a little low, but it was into the cage. Okay, and very nice. Now we're going to look for them coming cross cage. Here he comes. Ball is in. Ball is on the outside hand. Goalie made the save, but correct execution. These are the two high drive possibilities for scores. Very nice shot there. High percentage drive positions from driving from the 1 o'clock position. The only thing that we might add into this now would be what we would call a moving pick, which again we will discuss later in the film. Okay, we're going to look at another shooting opportunity from the 1 o'clock drive cross cage, which would be the backhand. And again, this is a readout dependent upon the position of the defense. When the defense is playing close to the ball, but we have the ball on the outside hand, this does not allow for the quick release of the shot with the right hand as far as just quick releasing it to the cage. We will cross over the back now and shoot the backhand. Let's take a look at that. Okay, here comes the drive. Defense starts closing. Ball's on the outside hand. Player takes the backhand shot. Here comes another one. Same thing. It's tight, so he goes up the backhand, and we put it into the far corner. Okay, now I don't think I'd have shot the backhand there because the defensive player was in position to allow for the other shot. And again, as I say, these are all things that need to be read. I don't think I'd have shot it there either. Okay, let's hold it there just 1 second. One of the things in shooting this backhand, and the last two shots really shouldn't have been backhands. This is what we're talking about, players being able to read the defense out. But we're running a drill, they were trying to run the drill. But in a game, those shouldn't have been backhands, the last two. All right, now it's also important to read the goalkeeper, where he is. Now we will continue with a couple of backhands. We're going to read the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper will be overplaying the strong side, so we will simply pull the cord earlier on the ball to take it cross cage. Let's take a look at that. Here's the foul. Here comes the drive. The defense is going to give the backhand, and he takes the leaves and shoots it early. Continuing with the goalie playing the strong side, looking again at the backhand where we come cross cage with the ball because that's the position that's open. Okay, he mishandled it. Let's take a look. He still threw it cross cage. Let's take a look at it from the next player. Here we come. He's got the backhand, and he takes it there cross cage because, again, he read the goalie, and the goalie was strong side. Okay, one more. Here he comes. Wants the backhand, and he takes it to the opposite corner. Finish with a couple of backhands where the goalie really is staying center cage, which really opens up the strong side. On this, then, we will hold on to the ball longer. The shooter will hold on to the ball longer, thus steering it to the strong side. Here it comes. There's the foul. Ball's on the outside hand, and he will wrap it. Okay, and he mishandled it, but there it comes, and here we go again. Ball is on the outside hand and wraps it. Missed the cage, but he's shooting it to the strong side, and I think we make our point. We're not going to come back and show that now, but that's the point, that you really want to beat the goalie, his position, and the player not only knowing the shot that he's going to take depending upon the position of the defender, but also he needs to know where the goalie is in the cage.
So much for our thinking on backhand shooting. Let's move now into Volume 2. In Front Court Offense Volume 1, we looked at the driver and his moves and shots, both with no defense on him, followed by some passive defense. Now in Volume 2, we'll start with the driver against full defense and then follow that with putting the offense together in the umbrella and 3-3 structures.
All right, now here we go with the drill, with the full defense, and let's see what kind of readouts we get. Here comes the first drive. There's the foul. Change of direction. He's going cross cage. And again, he hits him on his side for the shot. Good readout, good play. Okay, here comes the next drive. He's beat him near side with quickness. The ball's on the outside hand and into the cage. And if that ball had been in front, it would have never been scored. The pass was a little tight, but was still good enough for it to be a score. Here's a drive, a stop and go. He's got him beat to the side. He's to his side, and very nice with a good readout on the part of the 2-meter man. All right, we'll take one final drive here and see what we get. Okay, again, he is working to the side. And again, he had a grab and go. And as I say, I don't think that's a good start, but it was a good finish as far as the readout go either. All right, we've moved the drive out to the point now, and we're going to try to play good defense, and let's see what kind of drives we get and what kind of readouts we get. Okay, there's the foul. Okay, he's trying to beat him near side here. He decides it's not there. It goes to the outside, and that's a good decision on the part of the 2-meter man. Okay, let's look at another drive. Here he comes. Okay, he's going to the other side. Now his shoulders are square. Very nice, good readout, and a good shot. Okay, let's take a look at the next drive and see what we get here. Okay, he's beat his man with quickness to this side. The ball's on the outside hand. It's shot. Probably should have gone strong side with the ball, but the readout was correct and the pass was correct. Let's take a look at one more from the point. Okay, here's the drive, the foul. He's coming this side. Ball on the outside hand, and a nice shot for a score. Okay, the final series now under full pressure from the 1 o'clock drive position. Here we go. Okay, there's the drive. He's coming cross cage. The foul. The ball's on the outside hand. And very nice. He read the goalie very, very well on that. And again, this is what has to happen. You just can't flick it. You've got to read the goalie. Comes the drive. There would be the foul. He's coming cross cage. Ball is on the outside hand. And he goes to the backhand with the goalie overplaying this side. He takes it cross cage. Very, very nice. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. There's the drive. He's going to go to that strong side. Timing pass for a score. And again, this is with defense. This isn't rehearsed here. And that's a nice sequence of 3. Let's see if we can follow the last one up. Here we go. Last man driving through. He's going to go strong side. Little late, little slow, and I think we did foul that one up for you, but he did take a nice shot at the end. But again, I think you get the idea of what we're working on the drive positions, the drive recognition on the part of both the driver and the 2-meter as to where the ball should go and where the driver should go. And when you have this, you get the shot. If a shot's there, you'll get it every time, and you will not turn the ball over. Well, we think it's an excellent system, and now we'll move on to other aspects of the game and start putting the drive now into the full 6-on-6 game, and we will look at all the different now drills that can be used 6-on-6 to put into the offense all these little pieces or parts of the puzzle that we've been developing. Everything we've done is a part of the game, and as now we'll start putting it together into. All right, now we're ready to go to the final phase, and that is to put 6 players on offense, 6 players on defense, and run a lot of our drills in the total actual game situation. Now, when I say run the drills, we'll run them in pieces, but we'll run them 6-on-6 in a game situation. Realizing, going back briefly, we've worked the 2-meter man by himself. We worked him with some defense. We did actually work the 2-meter man in a 6-person situation too. We worked the driver one-on-no-one. We worked the driver with some defense passively, remember, and then we worked the driver with good one-on-one defense. And now in this phase, we'll bring the driver into a 6-on-6 situation as well. And again, this is following the theory of going from the simple, where the players find success, to now the more difficult, the complex, the actual game numbers and the actual game circumstances and situations. When we finish, we will actually end in a scrimmage, and we will test the theory. Have they learned with the discipline of what we're working towards, have they actually learned the system? Can they execute? Is the recognition there? And as I say, we never start a practice that we don't work through that day to a final result where we go from the simple to the complex. And as I say, this demonstrates success to the players, and particularly when they're successful at the end where it's complex. But again, if you stop a practice halfway through and return to middle ground, we'll say the next day, sometimes the concentration is lost, it falls apart, the players don't feel successful, and you can actually take 2 steps backward before you start moving forward again. So again, now we will look at 6-on-6. We'll do a brief review here. We're going to go back and look at the 6-on-6 with some of what we did with the 2-meter people in some of our drills, and then but we're going to do that very rapidly, and then we'll move quickly into some new concepts, 6-on-6, as we put the puzzle together and get finally the total picture. Okay, here we go, 6-on-6, and again, the first basic offensive drill would be the availability. Players have got to get available for the release pass. We recall this one earlier. There's the foul, the release pass. We count 1 pass, back in. There he absorbs the foul, it's up, there's 2. We got it up, we're working hard just on releases and just on the passes out. And again, this is a very important drill, man, and in training them in a game situation. Now we're ready for that second drill that we did a little bit earlier, and again, this is the 2-meter switch outs, forcing the guard to switch each time in this drill. We'll go 2 with pretty good regular defense, 2 with the guard leaving early, forcing again the perimeter man to read out the shot or to read out the pass back. Here we go with it. Ball is in, there's the foul, here comes the switch, it's up, we practice, and the shot, and a good save by the goalie. All right, let's look at it again. Here it comes out, ball is in, there's the foul, there's the switch called. Okay, and a very bad defense there, very bad defense on position of leaving. Okay, here we leave early, just totally freeing up the man inside. This happens a lot in ball games, but it needs to be practiced. And again, here's the early leave, and they're a little messed up in their switch out, and again we get the pass to the shot inside. Both of those circumstances happen. Obviously, the free man on the perimeter is the thing that happens the most often because the 2-meter defense will switch better than it did there on the film. But again, part of that was on purpose, and we've just got to be able to read whether the shot should be perimeter or whether the shot should be placed back with a 2-meter man. All right, also 6-on-6, we can practice regular 2-meter shooting and in a game circumstance or situation. All right, and again, let's put the ball in, we'll look at it. There's the foul, and we take the right-hand sweep. And again, we can play it with good, tough defense or medium defense, whatever we want. Here it comes in again. There's the foul. And again, I probably shouldn't have blown the whistle, obviously, but again, the idea being there. We're going to ask the defense to cinch up a little bit here, and we'll run a couple of those drills again and really work to get off the shot now with more pressure. Okay, here the ball comes in. Okay, and a little more defense there, a little harder shot. Finally, last time the ball is in. Here we come in. Okay, and he sets the backhand. But again, you can practice anything you want off of this with lots of defense or a little defense. Another 2-meter shot, again, that needs to be worked on 6-on-6 is the 2-meter man making, the 2-meter guard making the mistake of overplaying a shoulder, thereby giving us an inside water opportunity. This has to be recognized by the 2-meter man and by the releasing strong side player. Let's take a look at that for a couple of times. Okay, ball is in. There's the foul, he's overplayed it, it's back in on the water, and we take the shot and for a goal. Let's look at it now, and we'll look at it from the other side. The ball is in. Okay, we got the overplay in the shoulder, the ball is released out, we got it to the inside, and we've got a 4-meter, an ejection, or hopefully a shot. Okay, now we're ready to put the drive game into the 6-on-6. And remember, we'd worked that pretty much one-on-one with and without defense. Now we're going to go at 6-on-6 in the front court game situation. We're sitting in an umbrella structure, and simply I will call names of players out. As we call that name, that player will drive. The defensive player playing him will let him up briefly. And then the 2-meter man and the driver will have to make the decision as to what they've been given. both in the way of water space and a readout from 2 meters. Okay, here we go on this. Ball is up. Okay, there's a cross drive, good readout. We'll put the ball back out. We'll check another drive. Okay, here comes Dale across. Okay, good readout. Ball is on the water. Very nice. All right, here comes a drive with Victor. Okay, he's going to the other side. That means he gets it dry. Okay, we bring the ball back out. Here comes Tim with the drive. Okay, he's going an angle drive there. And not a good shot because he swung at the ball. You never swing at the ball. Reach out and wrist shoot that ball. Okay, here we go again with just a couple of more. Pat, drive. Okay, here he goes. There's the foul. We drove strong side and for the shot. Bring it around. The ball's out. Okay, here it comes this. We're going strong side this side and with the shot. Okay, now we'll move on to a couple of other items as we establish and build our front court offense. All right, now, while we've worked on the one-on-one driving, we're going to show the only pick that we will show in these front court offensive series. Actually, we're doing 2 additional films, one just on shooting where we will break all the picks down, and also one on special situations where we will break all of the various picks down, the reverse muscle picks, the outside picks, moving picks, that sort of thing. Now, the pick that we're going to actually demonstrate here, we would call a moving pick. It's no more than a one-on-one drive. There's absolutely no impeding involved in this particular pick. We simply take a point drive and the 11 or 1 o'clock position, depending upon which way the point drive goes, will drive across that man's waist. And again, there is no stoppage in the part. It's really a one-on-one drive from the point. And the one-on-one drive from the point is trying to get free. It's just that the man now at 11 o'clock will choose to go across his waist, put 2 people in the offense. We call this a moving pick, and it's very easy to run, and it works extremely well. The readout of the 2-meter man is very, very simple in this. As the ball comes in and as the point drive kicks out, if the point drive is coming to his left, chances are we're probably going to be free to his right. So he'll be looking for the drive pass to the right. All right, here we go. There's the drive. There's the pick. Crossed. He's on his side and to the shot. All right, very nice. Now let's look at a moving pick to the other side. Here it comes in. And there comes the drive. And the off-the-water shot with a goalie save. Now, the next thing we would work on is the drive really not being up or being squashed by the wings dropping in off the umbrella to help stop the defense. This frees up the loop around, and we're going to work now on getting the second pass to the switch-out foul. Let's take a look at that. Here's the ball up. Here comes the drive. We drop in on the D, creates the loop. Back in for the second. There's the 2-meter switch out, and we take the shot. Let's look at that one more time. Right, here we go again with that. There's the foul. Here comes the drive. No offense there. Back in. There's the foul. Ball is up, and the quick shot. And again, we are working now on, is the drive free? Recognition there. If not, recognition to a release position. Back in, draw the second foul, and a recognition to the perimeter shot. Now, just another possibility in this, which needs to be practiced. We run the drive. We're not free. We run the loop. We get the ball back. We hit the 2-meter man. We get the switch out. We're not open. Then we want to kick right back into the drive again. The game must go from the drive to the, which is horizontal, to the vertical to the drive. All right, let's take a look at this. Here we go. There's the foul. Inside cover. Back in for the foul, switch out, no shot. Now we must get around, the ball around the horn. There's the foul, there's the drive again, and again the shot. Again, what we're stressing here is that the offense cannot stop with the switch out foul. If the shot is not there, the next drive must be coming. And this is the whole key, to keep the intensity, keep attacking in the front court offense, and, you know, keep your concentration. Don't go to dead spots of 5 or 6 or 7 seconds. All right, now we're ready for a very important step for the coaches to follow, and that is the transition from defense And we're not concentrating in this film on defense, but we're now on defense. We will counterattack. We're not going to concentrate in the counter because to make this drill work, we really don't want to be up in the counter for this drill because we're going to work on the transition. Can the players get their front court set up quickly? Do we not lose that 4 or 5 seconds as we talked about at the beginning of this film? Can we carry right from the transition of the counter into the front court, maximize our time, and get our attack going with concentration? We will give it a try, and here we go. Okay, there's the foul. Moving pick, forces the ball. It's knocked down from behind. Here comes the counter. As I say, we're not really concentrating on defense here or a good counter. We really want to work the transition. There's the ball to 2 meters on the transition, the early drive, nice loop around. We force the 2-meter switch out, and the shot and a score. Very nice transition, and you know this is critical and must be practiced. Okay, now in the final phases of this front court offensive film, we're going to look at 2 extremely popular structures of front court offense, and that is the 3-3. As you look out now, you see, and we're going to look at the advantages, disadvantages of the 3-3, the type of shots, what it can do for you. And after that, we'll take a look at the umbrella and see where the offensive emphasis really does change. These are both good offensive situations. Probably a 3-3 is, you know, especially good for younger teams that don't swim so well. There's less movement in this offense, and so you don't get as many turnovers. There's not as many readouts, and this offense has worked effectively at a lot of levels. When we move the umbrella, you'll see again how much more movement, and of course, with more movement, more decisions. Finally, earlier in the film, I'd mentioned the double post. We're not going to even demonstrate that. You know, again, the double post is exactly what it says it is. The problem with the double post is, quite honestly, if a defense starts dropping in on a double post, it makes it very difficult to utilize it. Whereas if a defense plays drop back against a 3-3, this is a 3-3 offense is a great offense against a drop back, and an umbrella can do certain things against a drop back as well. But when you double post, you're locking the people in where the defense does not have to move much to really shut 2 players down and really force everything to the perimeter. All right, now as we look at this 3-3, obviously, and as we'd said earlier, water polo teams need good 2-meter players. You want a good, strong 2-meter player there. And one of the possibilities certainly is a shot from the 2-meter man. We're going to look at that first, and then we're just going to go through and look at some of the different offensive possibilities of the 3-3. Okay, with the strong 2-meter man, we're over the top for the shot. And the sweep with a good block, and he rebounds it and puts it in the cage. And again, the only point we're making here, we're just going to walk through these things, is that in a 3-3, you're really looking for your 2-meter man to do some scoring. All right, now we're going to move the guard around to the front. All right, now with the guard in front, we'll do what we did earlier on some of the individual fundamentals. We're going to push him out, counter rotate, signal our head position with our head position where we want the ball, try to release the ball to the wing, bring it in, and create a shot there. And again, in this situation, the wing forwards have really got to press in and release out as well. All right, let's take a look at this one. They're fronting the hole, and here we go. He's pressing him out. He wants the ball to this side. He counter rotates. There's the pass in. Ball is on the water. This shot is blocked, but and again, he rebounds it for a goal. But we get the picture. And again, in a 3-3, when they front you, you move the defense out to the 5-yard line approximately. Pinch your wings in a little bit. Have them release hard. The point man or the 11 or 1 o'clock man, whoever might have the ball there, can certainly see which way his head signaling, and we know where the release pass is going to come to the wing, and then in turn immediately into the 2-meter man. Okay, as you look at the 3-3, you can see that it really doesn't offer a lot of opportunities for drives. There's really no place for the point, the 11, 1 o'clock to drive other than strong side. As a result, this offense really favors a lot of picks, muscle picks, inside picks, outside picks. It's definitely a picking offense, and we will demonstrate a couple of those for you now. All right, here we go. Ball is in. There's the foul. Here comes the drive. He sets the screen pick. Ball is up and shot, and it's missed but rebounded by the 2-meter man. All right, we're going to look at the same situation from the other side now. We're taking the ball out. Here it comes in. There's the foul. He sets the screen pick, and we get a good shot cross cage, but again, the goalie's made the save. But simply demonstrating that a lot of picks, reverse picks, muscle picks, as I say, a lot of picks can be run in the 3-3 because of the wing forwards being up front. But it certainly does cut down on anything but power side driving and picking. It does not give you the freedom of free cross drives or even free strong side drives, because you're always driving in to a defensive man because your offensive wing is there. One of the great advantages of a 3-3 offense is to attack a drop back. It's one of the very best methods of attacking a drop back. Now we're going to take a look at that, and a couple of key principles. Every time you can get it to 2 meters, it should be put there. But when they're dropping off and covering back on the 2-meter man, then the ball should always be with the freest man on the outside. Generally, you want your point playing a little bit deeper, and so that you've got a passing lane on the outside. And let me just stop it for a moment, and then we'll start this. Okay, here we go against the drop back, always with the free man outside. Coming in, has he got the 2-meter pass? No, comes to the free man. There's the 2-meter pass in, the quick ball out, and the quick shot. And again, this is a great offense for beating the drop back. Let's look at it again. Play ball. Comes in. Almost sloughed it, not quite. Ball's out with a free man. He comes in. Does he have a whole pass? No. Cross passes it. Working cross cage. Okay, to the point, who's always deeper. Comes in. Cross pass. A little low. Back out, around with a free man again, and the ball is up. And although the ball did not go, it was the correct pass to the correct shot. And I think you can see the possibilities. The 3-3 really is an outstanding offense to beat a drop back. Right, finally, we look at the umbrella, and the umbrella is just as it would be described. The 2-meter man is the handle of the umbrella, the end of the umbrella, and we just make a half moon to the outside. Now, immediately, by moving the wings out into an umbrella, and by moving the 2-meter man from center cage to one post to the other, we've opened up the drive game, and herein lies the great difference between the 3-3 and the umbrella. It is a driving situation, and it allows you to run drives. You can run picks, but there'll be more of the moving pick as we had demonstrated a little bit early. All right, listen, we're going to take a look here now at some of the moves again. All right, here we go, and we're going to look at some of the driving possibilities again that are opened up with the umbrella. There's a backdoor, a backside drive, actually a power drive from the 1 o'clock position, beat his man, good read out by the 2-meter man, a good pass for the dry shot. Okay, see what we get this time. Here we go. Ball is into the 2-meter man. Oh, we're running a moving pick from the point position, and again the pass is up nice, and again opening up the driving lanes, which the umbrella will do for you. All right, let's see what happens this time. And here we go. Okay, there's a moving pick coming through. The defense is dropped in this time. We're back to the 2-meter man. No switch out, and an easy goal because the 2-meter the guard did not even attempt to switch out. Let's try another situation and see what we get from the umbrella. We got a one-on-one point drive. He's free. They drop in. Oh, and they dropped away from the other side. We take the cross pass to a shot. And again, just demonstrating all types of recognition situations, and again following with a horizontal drive and the vertical game, and how these things blend together. Again, the umbrella can very easily play also against a drop back, simply by driving the drop back man off of the 2-meter man. Whoever's dropped in there, his man drives through, and again, as long as you've got quick recognition, as soon as the man's driven off, you can utilize the 2-meter man. You can also, when they're dropping, utilize the compressing offense from the outside, working a lot of cross passes and possibly taking that cross pass to a shot as we just looked. All right, this concludes the series now on the development of a front court offense.